All right, Chuck, and here we are in the 2012 Passat, and this one is equipped with your sound system.
Yeah.
So tell me about the sound system. What makes it special? Obviously, all of the manufacturers are now branding their sound systems with many upgrades, and Fender is one of the newest in the business.
It is.
In the car world, at least. Not in the guitar world.
Well, Fender's using its experience of making music for the last 60 years to come up with what we think is probably one of the finest systems you can buy in a car today. We've worked closely with Panasonic and Volkswagen to develop the system. It's a 9-speaker, 400-watt system. It's really designed to bring the life back to music.
I guess the question I'd be asking if I were a consumer buying this car is what makes the Fender system different from the Bose or the Rockford Fosgate or any of the other systems that now are in cars?
Mm-hmm. We really enjoyed a lot of cooperation from Volkswagen and Panasonic to develop drivers that were specific to the cars, to spend a lot of time in the cars, back even when they were prototypes, to sit in the cars for a long period of time and get everything adjusted just right. Because, there's a lot more to a car stereo system than what meets the user's eye. I mean, the user sees a volume control, they see a few tone controls, maybe a balance and a fader, but underneath the covers, there's hundreds of parameters that need to be considered. There's parameters on the speaker designs, there's parameters in how the amplifier works, there's the digital signal processing that's going on. And that stuff takes a long time to set up properly. If this was just a badging exercise, we would stick our badge on and be done, but that's not what this was. We spent about 3.5 years working with Panasonic to get the sound right, and luckily we teamed up with a car manufacturer to let us do what we needed to do to keep it that way.
So what is a Fender sound? What differentiates it from some of the other premium systems?
We've spent 60 years making the sound of music, making live music, live performance equipment, guitars and amplifiers and PA systems and mixers and all that sort of thing. And so we're very used to what a live performance sounds like, and that's what we're trying to reproduce in these cars.
So you were saying it's like being at a concert?
Yes.
Yeah, like you're
exactly.
Up there at the front with your lighter or now your cell phone.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go down the highway with all my lighter on. But
all right, let's turn it up.
Yep. So we've got a very smooth sound. Let's point out we've got some tweeters here in the front, one on each side, and of course badged Fender in this car. And we have a couple of speakers here in the door on each side, two tweeters and 2 speakers in the rear doors again. And then in the back, a subwoofer. The subwoofer is mounted in a very inconspicuous place. Volkswagen and Panasonic and Fender worked together to design the subwoofer enclosure so that most people won't even know it's there. Well, although it's a very large enclosure and it's got a pretty good sized subwoofer. And the balanced fader is kind of a neat little system where you can just drag this circle around to adjust it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Or if you want it back in the center, just go ahead and hit the center button. It probably has way more to do with the speakers, and that's what people generally don't understand. They'll think, oh, it's a 1200-watt system, or oh, it's a 600-watt system. No. The drivers are really what's important, because they're what translates that electrical power into mechanical power, right? And if that's not designed right, then it doesn't matter how many watts you have.
And you said when you get these systems, they're kind of come unprogrammed, right? And the difference is you as Fender, or the engineers at Fender, program the parameters that then create the sound that then creates the experience.
Exactly, yeah. The amplifiers have a lot of flexibility built into them. It's the kind of things you need to be an engineer to work on. You plug into it with a laptop and there's hundreds of parameters that need to be set. There's delay times for each thing, there's crossovers, there's equalizers, there's dynamic parts of the circuitry that work. And all these things need to be meticulously set. They're originally, when a system's set up, it's set up first on a static basis where you have noise, white noise running, and you have microphone arrays, and you try to get it balanced in about right to begin with. But then after that, it's all subjective. You've got to get people in the car, you got to have them listen to music, you got to say, what does it sound like to you? Does it sound like a live experience?